The player in question was in full training Monday. Came in Tuesday morning, which is the normal procedure, went straight to see the doctor. He was sent home at that point with some antibiotics. Improved a little bit on Wednesday morning when he checked in with the doctor. Wednesday night had a really bad night, and that led to yesterday spending 5 hours on the phone to the NHS, and he had full symptoms. However, because of the influx of calls that they received, they were only testing a very small minority, and he was told that because he'd not been out of the country for 14 days and because he'd not been in contact with anybody who has been diagnosed so far, that he wouldn't require a test. We weren't happy with that, obviously, and we try and give our players and staff the best possible care, and so we organised pretty quickly to have a private test done, which has taken place today. He's in self-isolation. His family are also isolated and been sent home from work. So until we get that result, the player in question is obviously trying to do all the things that you have to do when you have a virus like that. So it's been really tough. It's been difficult for the squad. The squad found out yesterday. Our doc came in and gave a full briefing, which I thought was excellent. Our chief medical officer at the club has been outstanding. The information he's put together all week has been brilliant, and as you can imagine, because that has been changing constantly, and especially on the back of yesterday, when we got to the point yesterday when we felt we were ready to make a decision, and then things changed again. Things have changed again in France and Spain, and I think for us, if the game had been anywhere in the UK, we'd been playing tomorrow night. We wouldn't have had any issue whatsoever. We've had a great week in training. We were good to go, even though we had a player who potentially could return a positive test. We were still willing, because guidelines were still that you should carry on. The difficulty came yesterday when overseas trips for school children got banned. That was the big game changer for us, amongst a load of other things that were sat there that we were discussing and trying to work through. But that was a big game changer, because in our own mind as a club, in effect, what we're saying, we couldn't send a scholarship team over to France, but we could send our first team. We've got a couple of lads in our first team who are only a couple of years out of school. A large number of our first team squad and staff have got children, and trying to differentiate what's right and what's wrong throughout all that has been tough. And then you throw in the fact that we were travelling overseas, we were getting on a plane with potentially ifs, buts and maybes, but there could have been a couple, there could be the full squad who are infected, and we know how, with the information out there, how tough it can be for the elderly to fight this off. To have on our conscience the fact that there could have been some elderly on that plane, and then arriving in France, possibly infect Cat on if the game went ahead. It's just been really, really irresponsible for us as a club, and I think a lot of the decisions that have been made here firmly put care and support and the well-being of our staff and players at the forefront of the decisions, and ultimately that is what this was about, making sure that we look after people and we do the right thing. Even when you try and work your way through the different advice, the fact that we were landing in Spain, driving up through Spain and going into France, meant we had to consider 3 different governments, 3 different lots of advice, and that made it pretty tough yesterday, but I absolutely believe we got to the right place.